Welcome back. And this time we have a very interesting section on artificial intelligence and machine learning services available on Google Cloud. So I'm going to provide you with an overview of AI and ML services followed by a discussion on building blocks, and then I'm going to spend considerable amount of time on generative AI. In fact, I have an interesting demo that you can try on using generative AI on Vertex AI. Finally, like every other section, we are going to wrap this up by discussing the use case of the available AI and ML services. So let's dive into the new section. Let's understand the available AI and ML services. Google Cloud AI has building blocks that provide AI through simple REST API. You don't need to be an expert on stats or mathematics or ML algorithms to use these building blocks. You can simply consume these APIs and you can infuse AI into your applications. Those are called the AI building blocks. And then there is a platform, actually a platform as a service, an ML platform as a service in the form of Vertex AI. Now this is Google's offering for delivering all things AI and ML. Vertex AI support both predictive and generative AI. Generative AI is a new phenomenon that only predict the outcome through AI. But it can also generate content. It can generate text, images, code, even videos, and that's very exciting. I'm very sure you heard of ChatGPT and Gemini. Vertex AI let you build applications like ChatGPT powered by a variety of models, including Google's own model called Gemini. And predictive AI is a traditional way of implementing AI where you send data and AI model will come back with the prediction on what's next or what is the forecast. Vertex AI support both predictive AI as well as generative AI. Vision AI is a service that provides models and services for implementing computer vision. Computer vision deals with images and videos. It includes performing object detection, object recognition, and even AutoML, which is basically training vision models based on your own datasets. And translations AI can translate documents, website, and any content from one language to another. And finally, there is a very exciting emerging generative AI platform that offers foundation model as a service. Foundation models are the mega models that are trained on massive datasets. For example, Google's own Gemini is actually a foundation model. And similarly, Imagine is a foundation model. Chirp, which is basically a speech to text or text to speech model, is also a foundation model. And there is one more foundation model called Cody. So all these are the base models and you can fine tune them and with your custom data, and that's why they are called foundation models. So in this section we will spend more time on Vertex AI and especially on generative AI. Let's start with the AI building blocks. When it comes to site, there are two APIs that you can consume. One is called the vision, the other one is called the video. So the first one is primarily to perform object detection and object recognition based on images that you sent. That is called the Vision AI services. Then there is a video service which will enable you to create engaging video experiences and perform AI inference on inbound video stream. This is a superset of the Vision AI services and this lets you perform continuous inference on streaming videos. Then there is a conversation which is available through Dialogflow and then cloud text to speech and speech to text APIs. It is pretty obvious that they deal with natural language and especially speech. So you can convert text to speech and speech to text. Then there is a natural language meant for extracting named entities and performing reduction of personalized data. There are a lot of APIs related to natural language and there is translation API meant to dynamically translate between one language and the other. The service can even detect what is your source language and automatically use that to perform the translation and then to perform training and inference on structured data. Structure is basically data in a tabular format or in a comma separated value format or data with a specific schema. AutoML tables let you apply state-of-the-art AI algorithms to the data. For example, you can perform linear regression, logistic regression, classifications, and any of those traditional mechanisms on tables or tabular data that is called AutoML tables. You can bring your custom datasets, apply an algorithms, and walk away with the model. Recommendations AI is primarily meant to deliver personalized product recommendation at a scale. And then there is a cloud inference API, which is meant to perform inference on your custom models. Let's say you have a model that is trained outside of Google Cloud, but you want to deploy it on Google Cloud and take advantage of other services that are available within Google Cloud, and also take advantage of Vertex AI. You can deploy the model and use Cloud Inference API to perform inference on your own model. So these are the core building blocks, and you can use them without any provisioning or without dealing with infrastructure. You can simply invoke an API and you can consume any of these services. A quick disclaimer, these services are rapidly evolving and they are changing almost on weekly basis. So please refer to Google Cloud's documentation around AI to get the most recent updates. Now let's take a look at GenAI or generative AI on Google Cloud. So generative AI refers to AI technologies that can generate new content including text, images, music, code based on patterns and data that it has been learned from. Now this is fundamentally different from traditional AI, which has always been predictive AI. So predictive AI is primarily meant to get a forecast or a prediction based on model and historical data. For example, if you want to predict your next quarter sales, you need to have a data set for the last 10 years of sales. And once you take the historical data and apply an algorithm to it, what you get is a model. And this model, when it is fed your new data set or new data points, it can come back and tell you what is the prediction. So that is predictive AI. Predictive AI is also very powerful, very useful, but generative AI is getting a lot of attention these days. You might have also experienced it because of the ability to create new content. It is very creative. It can generate poems, it can generate blog posts, it can summarize content, it can even generate images, videos, and also audio, and also you can able to create your own clone with AI with just a simple text prompt. And these models are becoming more and more powerful and intelligent almost every day. This is called generative AI, which is fundamentally different from predictive AI. So when we look at the background, it basically uses deep learning models such as generative adversarial networks and transformers to understand and replicate patterns and generate high quality novel outputs. This is slight technical. You may or may not be familiar with GANs, but that was the predecessors to what we currently call as transformers or the T in the GPT. So GANs were the model that were used to generate content, but now they have become very sophisticated and become generative AI foundation models. Now this is being extensively used in creative industries for content creation and even for automation of various tasks. And it can create very advanced simulation and very advanced AI models. This is going to be powering the next generation of technology, including autonomous cars and self-healing systems and agent tech workflows. So the future of computing is firmly based on the evolution of generative AI and the foundation models. This is going to be fundamentally changing the way we deal with computers. We are going to interact with computers not with just a GUI, but more using the conversational UI. You will prompt the computer to get to a task done instead of performing multiple clicks and navigation through multiple screens. So generative AI ultimately enhance creativity, it increase efficiency, and as I mentioned, with the concept of agents, we are going to automate lot of repetitive tasks. And it is going to revolutionize almost every industry from Hollywood to automobile manufacturers to healthcare to insurance to retail to supply chain. Every industry has very compelling use case and a scenario to implement generative AI. This is changing the way businesses are leveraging automation and digital transformation. Now at the heart of Google's generative AI strategy is a model called Gemini. So Gemini is designed as a sophisticated multimodal AI. It is called multimodal AI because it can deal with a variety of modalities. Initially, the foundation models or the generative models were focused only on text. You could give a prompt and it will generate text. But with multimodal AI, you can input text or image or video and it can come back with a very different outcomes. For example, you can provide a picture and ask questions about that picture. And Gemini, which is a multimodal AI model, can come back with answers based on the image, what it actually sees in the image. Similarly, some of the other models are capable of taking a voice and a prompt and generate audio content basically on exactly the voice that you provided. So that is where multimodal AI comes into picture. And Gemini is one of the state of the art, industry leading, highly capable multimodal AI model, which is used extensively across Google products, including Vertex AI and Google Cloud. So the Gemini model come in a variety of flavors. There is a Gemini Pro, there is a Gemini Ultra, there is a Gemini Flash, and Google is expected to launch additional flavors. For example, Gemini Flash is the smallest and it is capable of running in Android phones. For example, and Gemini Pro is the most powerful, most capable, and most requires massive infrastructure, and it typically runs in the cloud. And as you can imagine, Google is deeply integrated Gemini across a variety of tools, including Google Search, Workspace, and its mobile platform, which is Android, and even devices like Google Pixel. So Google's Gen AI strategy revolves around Gemini. If you understand in building a career around generative AI and particularly based on Google's generative AI platform, then you have to invest time in learning Gemini. The development and operation of Gemini relies on custom chips and custom infrastructure, which is called tensor processing units. So TPUs are like GPUs, but they are very proprietary to Google Cloud. You can launch instances or Kubernetes clusters powered by TPUs, tensor processing units, and they are used to train models such as Gemini. This is the model that is powering Vertex AI and also a lot of Google products. But at the same time, Vertex AI is not just confined to Gemini. It supports three different type of models. The first one is of course Google's first party models, which are Gemini and Imagen and so on. And then you have open models like Llama from Meta and Falcon from other provider. So there are a lot of open weight models. There are coming from Hugging Face, and most of them are available on Vertex AI. So they are basically the open weight models, which is the second type of models. The third type of models are the ones that you fine tune. For example, you can take Meta's Llama or Mistral 7 billion parameter model and fine tune that based on your custom data sets and a custom task. So those models are also stored on Vertex AI and can be used to perform inference. There are first party models straight from Google, then there are open weight models from third parties, and then your custom models which are fine tuned and made available on Google Vertex AI. So these are the three type of models supported by Vertex AI.